Atheist talk show host Ellen DeGeneres mocks Keanu Reeves' faith, but something revealing happens. The show kicks off with Ellen DeGeneres flashing her trademark smile, but there's a sharp edge in her tone as she turns to the camera and says, "All right, folks, tonight we have a very special guest, Keanu Reeves. Now, you might know him as the ultimate action hero, but what you might not know is that he's got this, spiritual side. Yeah, the guy actually believes in faith and stuff. Hollywood. Actors and their beliefs, right? Always got to have something to cling to when reality gets tough." The audience laughs, but the joke lands with a bit of a bite. Ellen's humor is on point, playful, but with a clear jab. She continues, "I mean, come on, Keanu. Don't you think you're a little too cool for all that? We all love a good action movie, but faith, that's a whole different level. Like, does believing in something invisible help with your stunts? Or do you just pray you don't get hurt?" The drawer. Camera cuts to Keanu, who listens intently, his face calm but unreadable. The tension starts to build. The audience is hooked. They're waiting to see if Keanu will laugh it off, get defensive, or throw some unexpected truth back at Ellen. The stage is set for a showdown, but one nobody could have predicted. But before we go any further, I want to ask you something important. If you feel moved by this story so far, please type the word "Amen" down in the comments. That simple word will help spread this message all across the country, because what's coming next is a powerful lesson of love and kindness, something we can all learn from. If you've already commented, thank you so much. And if you haven't, please take a second to do that now. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button to support us. We truly appreciate every bit of love and support you send our way. May God bless you, give you twice as much, and light your path every day. All right, now that's done. Let's keep going. Keanu leans back slightly, his calm demeanor contrasting sharply with Ellen's playful sarcasm. There's no rush in his voice, just a steady, thoughtful tone that immediately demands respect. "Ellen," he begins, "I understand where you're coming from. It's easy to make jokes about faith when it feels like something distant or invisible, especially in Hollywood, where appearances and image often overshadow what's real. But for me, faith isn't a costume or a gimmick. It's a foundation. It's something that has helped me stay centered through some of the most difficult moments in my life." He shifts in his seat, pausing briefly to collect his thoughts, making sure every word carries weight. It's not about trying to convince anyone or prove something on stage. Faith is deeply personal. It's the quiet voice inside that reminds me I'm not alone, especially when everything else seems uncertain. His eyes meet the camera as if speaking directly to each viewer. When you've faced loss, pain, and moments where you thought you wouldn't make it, that kind of belief can be the difference between giving up and pushing forward. The atmosphere in the studio changes subtly. Ellen's expression, while still guarded, loses some of its earlier sharpness. The audience, too, feels the shift. There's a hush, a respectful pause, as if everyone senses this is not just an act or a scripted line. It's something authentic, raw, and deeply human. Keanu's words don't ask for agreement, but they invite understanding. He continues, voice steady and sincere, "I don't flaunt my beliefs or demand respect for them, but they're real to me, and maybe that's all faith really is. A personal strength, a light in the dark, something to hold on to when the world gets heavy." The studio lights feel softer now, the crowd leans in, and even Ellen's usual quick wit seems to slow down, as if caught off guard by the unexpected depth of the moment. For a few seconds, the divide between skeptic and believer feels smaller, replaced by a shared human experience of searching for meaning and hope. Ellen leans forward, a mischievous glint returning to her eyes. "All right, Keanu, I get it. You've got your faith, your personal strength. But tell me this, how do you really know it's not just wishful thinking? I mean, believing in something you can't see or prove, doesn't that just make you vulnerable? What if you're putting all your hope into nothing?" Her tone is challenging, but with a spark of genuine curiosity beneath the sarcasm. The audience senses the stakes rising. The playful jab is turning into a real debate. Ellen's words cut through the light-hearted vibe, and for the first time, Keanu's eyes narrow just a little, not in anger, but in focus. Keanu takes a breath and responds slowly, carefully choosing his words. "You're right, Ellen. It's not easy to prove faith like you prove a fact. It's different, but sometimes proof isn't in what you see with your eyes. It's in what you feel, what you live through. Faith gave me strength when science, logic, or anyone else's explanations fell short. When my sister was really sick, when I faced moments that no one expected me to come out of alive. Faith was what kept me moving forward." He looks directly at Ellen now, his voice steady but full of conviction. It's not about vulnerability. It's about courage. Having faith means facing the unknown with hope instead of fear. That's not weakness. That's one of the strongest things a person can do. The room is silent except for the sound of Keanu's voice. Ellen blinks, the tension between them palpable. The audience is holding its breath, waiting to see how she'll respond. Will she keep pushing, or will this moment break through her skepticism? As the tension between Ellen and Keanu reaches its peak, something completely unexpected happens. Right in the middle of their intense conversation, an object on the set, a small glass of water sitting on the table between them, suddenly shudders, then slowly slides a few inches all by itself. The entire studio falls silent. Cameras zoom in on the glass as it moves without anyone touching it. For a split second, there's nothing but shocked faces. Ellen's eyes widen, her mouth opens slightly in disbelief. Keanu's expression shifts from calm focus to subtle surprise. Then, just as quickly, the lights flicker. The overhead studio lights dim and brighten in a strange, uneven pattern. The crew behind the cameras exchange confused looks. For a few heartbeats, the atmosphere changes from casual talk show to something charged with an eerie energy. Ellen, usually quick to make a joke, freezes. "Okay, what was that?" "Keanu, you didn't do that, did you?" she says nervously, half laughing, but clearly unsettled. Her usual confidence wavers. The audience is now completely silent, the laughter and chatter from earlier replaced by wide-eyed curiosity and a sense of disbelief. Keanu smiles softly, but doesn't joke back. Instead, he looks around calmly and says, "Sometimes things happen that we can't explain, Ellen. Maybe that's the part of life that reminds us there's more than what we see." Ellen blinks repeatedly, her usual confident smirk replaced by a genuine look of surprise, and if you listen closely, a flicker of unease. The live studio audience shifts in their seats, sensing that something unusual just happened. Something no one was expecting. For a moment, the vibrant, energetic vibe of the show slows down, replaced by a palpable tension. Okay, that was really weird," Ellen finally says, her voice softer than usual, almost hesitant. She glances around the set, clearly looking for a rational explanation, but there's nothing obvious. No crew member is moving toward the glass. The lights are back to normal now, but the eerie moment lingers like a shadow in the room. She shoots a quick look at Keanu, raising an eyebrow with a mix of teasing and curiosity. "All right, you've got to tell me, was that some kind of trick? A magic stunt? Because if you're secretly a magician and never told us, I'm going to be seriously impressed. Spill your secrets, man." The audience laughs nervously, but the laughter doesn't quite reach Ellen's eyes. It's like she's trying to laugh off something she can't explain. Then, for the first time, Ellen's mask of unshakable confidence cracks. She leans back slightly, hands folded, voice dropping to almost a whisper. "You know, I've made fun of a lot of things on this show. Believers, skeptics, weird stories you wouldn't believe, but I have to admit, I don't have a good answer for that." She pauses, scanning the crowd, her expression serious. "That was real, and honestly it freaked me out a little." The studio falls silent, hanging on every word. The crowd feels like they're witnessing a rare moment. Ellen, the queen of comedy and sarcasm, admitting uncertainty. It humanizes her in a way that feels deeply genuine. You can almost feel the weight of the moment pressing down on everyone. Keanu nods slowly, a soft, knowing smile on his face. "Sometimes," he says quietly, "it's those moments, those things we can't explain, that teach us the most about ourselves and the world around us. Ellen meets his gaze, the tension between them shifting from confrontation to mutual respect. The audience senses a shift too, a subtle but powerful change in energy. The mocking tone is replaced by open curiosity, and the question now isn't whether faith is real, but what unseen forces might be at work in all our lives. After Ellen's reaction settles, Keanu takes a slow breath and leans forward, his tone shifting from calm to deeply sincere. "There's something I haven't shared much publicly," he begins, his voice low but steady. "A few years ago, I went through one of the darkest periods of my life. It wasn't just about fame or career, something much more personal. My sister was critically ill, and the doctors didn't give us much hope." His eyes soften as he recalls the memory. "In those moments, when it felt like everything was falling apart, I didn't turn to anything flashy or public. I turned inward, to the faith I'd kept quiet about for years. It wasn't about miracles or grand gestures. It was about finding peace in the middle of chaos, just knowing that I wasn't alone, even if everything else seemed hopeless." Keanu pauses, looking around the studio, making eye contact with Ellen and the audience. "That experience changed me. It made me realize that faith isn't just a word or a belief, it's a lifeline, something that helps you keep moving forward when the world feels like it's collapsing around you." The crowd grows silent, the weight of his words sinking in. Even Ellen's usual playful demeanor softens, and she nods slowly, clearly moved by the story. Keanu finishes, "I'm not here to convince anyone, but sharing that part of myself helps me be honest about why faith means so much to me. It's not about proof or skepticism, it's about hope." Before we continue, I ask you to please comment Amen down below. This simple act helps spread this message of love and kindness all across Brazil. If you can, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. We truly appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. May God bless you, light your path, and give you double in return. Now let's keep going. After hearing Keanu's heartfelt story, Ellen takes a deep breath and leans forward, her usual playful tone replaced by a rare vulnerability. "You know, I've always been the one to challenge and question things, especially faith," she admits quietly. "But hearing what you just shared, it makes me think about my own life in a different way." She pauses, looking down for a moment before meeting Keanu's eyes again. "There was a time when I faced some really dark moments, not the kind people see on TV, but personal struggles that no one really knew about. And honestly, I didn't have faith in anything. Back then, I felt lost. I made fun of belief because I thought it was a crutch for people who couldn't handle reality." The audience shifts, sensing the weight behind her words. Ellen's openness catches many off guard, showing a side rarely seen on her show. "But," she continues, "maybe I was wrong. Maybe there's something powerful about having hope, even if you can't explain it. Your story made me realize that sometimes we need to stop being so sure about what we think we know and just be open to what we don't." She offers a small, sincere smile. "Thanks for sharing that, Keanu. It means more than you know." Just as Ellen finishes her confession, the atmosphere in the studio shifts again. The lights dim slightly, and a gentle breeze seems to sweep across the set. Strange, because the studio doors are closed tight. A soft, almost whispering sound fills the air, like distant voices or a quiet melody no one can quite place. The camera catches Ellen and Keanu both looking around, surprised but calm. Ellen's eyes widen slightly, a mix of wonder and uncertainty. "Did you feel that?" she asks, her voice barely above a whisper. Keanu nods slowly. "Sometimes, moments like these remind us that there's more happening than meets the eye. It's like a message, something beyond words or logic." The audience is completely silent, hanging on every detail. A crew member nervously checks equipment, but everything appears normal. No explanation, just the mysterious feeling lingering in the air. Ellen's usual skepticism melts further as she whispers, "I don't know what's happening, but it feels important." Keanu smiles softly. "That's the beauty of these moments. They don't always make sense, but they leave us changed." As the mysterious moment unfolds on live television, the camera pans to the audience, capturing their raw, unfiltered reactions. Faces light up with awe, Eyes widen in disbelief, and some lean forward, as if trying to catch a glimpse of something unseen. You can feel the energy ripple through the crowd, a mixture of amazement, curiosity, and a touch of wonder. A few people clasp their hands together, whispering softly, "Did you see that? And I can't believe this is happening." The atmosphere is electric, charged with a collective sense of something extraordinary occurring right before their eyes. It's as if the entire room has been touched by an invisible presence, and nobody wants to break the spell. Back on stage, Ellen and Keanu exchange glances, both recognizing the profound impact this moment is having not just on them, but on everyone watching. Ellen's usual humor has softened into quiet respect, and Keanu's calm faith feels stronger than ever. The host finally breaks the silence with a heartfelt comment. "You know, moments like these remind us all that maybe, just maybe, there's more to life than what we see and understand. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, you can't deny that this feels special." The audience erupts into applause, some wiping away tears. The shared experience creates an unspoken bond between everyone in the studio and those watching from home, making this more than just a talk show. It's a moment of connection and reflection. As the applause fades and the energy settles, Keanu looks directly into the camera, his voice calm but filled with meaning. What we experienced here today isn't just about faith or doubt. It's about recognizing that life is full of mysteries, things we may never fully understand, but that don't make them any less real. He turns slightly toward Ellen, who nods in agreement, her usual brightness now tempered with a newfound respect. "Sometimes," Keanu continues, "it takes moments like this, moments that shake us out of our certainty, to open our hearts and minds. Whether you believe or not, what matters is the love, hope, and kindness we carry with us every day." Ellen, her voice steady and sincere, adds, "I came into this skeptical, ready to joke and poke fun. But today, I've been reminded that there's power in faith, not just religious faith, but faith in hope, in people, and in the unexpected." The studio feels quieter now, as if everyone is holding on to the weight of what's just been shared. Keanu smiles softly. "If there's one thing I hope people take away from today, it's that kindness and belief, no matter the form, can change lives." The show closes with Ellen inviting the audience to share their own experiences and thoughts in the comments, encouraging a conversation that goes beyond the screen. The final shot lingers on both of them, two very different people brought together by an unexplainable, unforgettable moment. This ending leaves viewers with a lasting impression of unity, hope, and openness, ensuring they stay connected to your channel and eager for more.